Hello everyone! So this is my second Q&A video that I promised to do, and I got quite a few questions. So I'm going to try to go through them rather quickly, and I picked the most commonly asked ones and the ones that didn't require quite a lot of time to answer and didn't need a specific video to answer. And I have my questions on my computer, which is right here in this area, so if I'm looking here, that's because I'm reading the questions. So let's get right into it. The first question, do you wish to travel a lot? I've never actually been the sort of person who wants to travel the world. Yes, there are a few places that I wish to visit, but I'm in no rush going there. Everything has its own time, so we'll see whether I get to visit them or not. Did you participate in any sports while in school? I still am in school, but throughout the years I've done fencing for 4 years. I've done Aikido for about a year, and then Muay Thai, which is like kickboxing, for a little over a year, or maybe even a year and a half. So those are the sports I've done. Have you ever given blood? No, I haven't. Given blood as in donated blood. It is difficult because you have to let a certain time pass after getting a tattoo or a piercing in order to donate blood. And but the time is around, I think, 6 months or something, and I'm constantly getting new piercings, or my piercings haven't healed by then, or whatever the cause is. It's always been about the piercings, and but in the near future I don't really see myself donating blood, just because I'm still very into piercing and tattoos and all that. However, at some period in my life I will start donating blood. I'm pretty sure of it, so we'll just see when that happens. What do people usually compliment you on? My eyes. Maybe I've gotten some comments on YouTube as well, but the camera doesn't really pick up the correct color of my eyes, but they are light blue. But in real life I do get quite a lot of compliments on that. When was the last time you got really happy, and why? Generally I am happy with a few of my friends, very close friends, or when I'm alone and I'm writing something and I'm drinking tea and listening to smooth jazz or something. Also, the simpler things in life have started to make me happy, and I've tried to not take things for granted anymore, which I used to do a couple of years back. Are you afraid of falling in love? Generally, a little yes, but I think a lot of people are, or most people are, because I mean, there are only two outcomes. You either stay with the person forever or you break up, which is more likely. But it doesn't really mean that, that the duration of the time you are together, that couldn't be wonderful, fulfilling, and make the both of you extremely happy. Not to mention you're getting new experiences, and where would we be without those? But I still think it's necessary to be a little cautious. So I got contacted here on YouTube by a follower of mine, and she wanted to talk about her situation with her boyfriend. Now, I don't really know why she felt the need to trust me this much, but she did, and I do give advice quite a lot regarding relationships and everything. So we talked for quite some time, and she wanted me to answer a few questions on video as well, and I picked a few that I was willing to answer. The first one, would you ever consider getting back together with any of your exes? No. There is a reason that they are my exes. However, I haven't terminated communication with them, so I do talk to them, but I would never get back together with them. Is it possible to remain friends after a relationship? Yes, but you have to think about how healthy it is for the both of you. maybe you can't move on if you are still close friends with the other person, and you constantly start to think, you know, what if? Maybe we can try again or something. And I've seen this with quite a few of my friends. And I mean, the situation is not going to help you either. So, I mean, if you feel like you have invested a lot in a relationship, it is so hard to let go. But sometimes you need to ask yourself, what could the outcome of the situation be, and will it make you happy? If not, you should change the situation. And whatever that may mean, if that means leaving the person, if this is the right thing to do for you and for them, then do it. Is there anything weird about you regarding dating or relationships? So I have two weird things that I rather don't do, that are a bit weird, perhaps. The first thing is holding hands. I can hold your hand if you're wearing a glove, or if we're both wearing gloves, but just skin to skin, I don't really like that. I've never been that type of girl that likes to hold hands anyway, and so I don't really do that. However, recently there have been some improvements in that area, but still they're pretty minimal, at least at the moment. The second would be kissing on the lips. I feel that kissing on the lips is a sort of a privilege, and privileges have to be earned. So I consider kissing very intimate. And if, you know, all those party games in which people dare you to go and make out with a person, I would most likely decline that. Yes, I don't. So all those first kisses, like if we're going on dates or whatever, the first kisses, I'm pretty terrified of those, because it takes me quite some time to trust a person before I am able to feel comfortable with them, and before I let them kiss me. So things could get pretty awkward if the other person wants to kiss me on the first date and I don't feel very comfortable with them. But yeah, so I suppose that is a little weird. I don't know. Maybe to you it isn't. I don't know how people see that, but yes. Which hurts the most, physical or emotional pain? Emotional. But I read somewhere that the actual pain lasts for about 2 to 3 minutes, and anything longer than that is made worse by ourselves by overthinking. So I suppose it's up to you how long you want to feel that emotional pain. Are you afraid of animals? I am afraid of monkeys. I do not like them. I've never liked them. They sort of terrify me. They're very... I don't know. I just don't like them. But that's basically it. I'm not really afraid of anything else but monkeys. Next question. Do you like the beach? Not really. I go to the beach, I think, about 2 times during the summer, or even less. I don't like to tan, and I don't like extreme heat and direct sunlight that much. So no. What is your perfect pizza? My favorite pizza would be like salami and pepperoni, jalapenos, cheese, onions, and then just a ton of spice. I'm very obsessed with spicy foods. So a lot of chili and jalapenos and everything. Lovely. What is your perfect gift? Well, I like when people write to me or they draw for me, and that is a lot better to me than, for example, money. You can honestly write me a letter and that is the perfect gift, in my opinion. A few years ago though I wouldn't have said that, but I've grown in the past couple of years quite significantly, and I see things a lot differently now than I did back then. The next question, do you cry a lot? No. Maybe I cry once every 2 months or less. But that is usually because there's a lot of built up emotions, and at some point you just need to release them. So it might not be like a big thing that would set me off the edge. It could be any little thing if, you know, if all those little things have been built up for months. Do you get along with girls? I do, but I'm so over drama and gossip. And I just feel agitated when people tell me the same thing twice or more. Especially if I wasn't interested in it in the first place, and usually girls do that a lot. I'm not saying only girls, but generally mostly girls. Then there are some questions about piercings. When you pierce anything in your mouth, can you taste the metal of the jewelry constantly? Well, blood tastes like iron, but you should only be able to taste it for like the first day if it's an initial piercing. If you taste metal afterwards, there's something wrong, because surgical steel or titanium does not have a taste to it, and you just feel it, but you do not taste it. So if you honestly feel that there's something wrong and you have weird tastes and senses, then I would highly suggest going to your piercer or your doctor to see if there's anything wrong. How did you get your cartilage piercings to heal so well? I only did 3 things. I did chamomile solution soaks and sea salt soaks, and I let one piercing heal completely before getting another one done. Those were the only 3 things. And I suppose my body just was okay with me getting piercings. Some bodies aren't. Some bodies really like to reject piercings and just don't want any foreign objects under skin. But I am grateful that mine is not like that. Which piercing is your absolute favorite? I couldn't really decide which one, so I have to say 2, my septum and my venoms, which are my side tongue piercings. And the reason why I like them is because they're both unique. At least here in Estonia, you don't see a lot of people with septums and venoms. A septum piercing is more common, however, you rarely see them stretched. My septum is stretched to 3.2 millimeters, which means that I have put effort into it. And any piercing or anything really that I put effort into it, that takes me a long time to do, and is memorable in that way, I like that more. And I appreciate it. I appreciate that more. Next question. Have you ever had any piercing reject, and how did it feel? Years back I had my eyebrow pierced, right here, on this side. And well, rejecting means that the jewelry moves very close to the surface of the skin, and it creates sort of a lilac purple line on the skin. And the problem with it is, well, first off, it doesn't look very nice, but the second one is that if the skin gets very, very thin, then the jewelry might be ripped out by any little thing, because the skin is so fragile and thin there. So you might just take off your blouse or whatever, change clothes, and it might rip out, which will leave you with a nasty scar. I decided to take my eyebrow piercing out, and I do not regret it, because it was the right choice for me. And any sort of facial piercing that starts to reject, I highly recommend taking out, because I don't think that people want unnecessary scars on their face. Even if you like scars. Yeah. But if I was to get my eyebrow re-pierced after it rejected, there would have been scar tissue there and it wouldn't have rejected, or wouldn't have rejected so quickly. It can go two ways. But at that time I did like the piercing, but when I took it out I sort of got over the eyebrow piercing, and I felt that for my face and just just thinking about the piercings I want on my body, an eyebrow piercing wasn't one of them. So I didn't get it re-pierced. Piercings that hurt the most. Well, I have 4 piercings that I remember that hurt a lot. The most painful one was my sternum, which is right here between the breasts. The second would probably be my rooks, which are ear piercings, then my venoms and my nipples. All the 4 hurt a lot. And I've made videos talking about the pain and everything and showing you the piercings, so you can go and look at that if you want to know more. I'm not going to start discussing this in this video. Next question. Piercings you regret getting. I do not regret getting anything because they've all been experiences and very valuable ones, and I can talk about them, and I wouldn't have such a large audience here on YouTube if I couldn't talk about anything, if I couldn't talk about my piercings. So I'm happy that all the experiences and all the piercings I have gotten, whether I had to take them out or I could keep them, I'm still happy that I did that and was able to get them. The last question. How many piercings do you have at the moment? At the moment I have 41 piercings, and I will do an update video on me showing you all of them. I got two more piercings on the 10th of February, so which was quite recently, and it was my birthday, so I celebrated my birthday by getting 2 new piercings, and I will show them to you, even though they're on my ears and they're earlobe piercings. But yeah, so I had a little space between here. I can't really see which one was the new one, but I had a little space here and I just decided to fill it, and now this is what my ear looks like. And I think that this is pretty much perfect, this ear. I still want to get 2 helixes here, but then I think I will be happy with this ear. I'm not quite sure, but I think I will be. So yes, the other one is just an earlobe piercing right here, which again was to fill the space basically. But yeah, those were my 2 new piercings. So these were all the questions that I decided to answer, and I will still of course answer your questions if you send them to my Facebook, or you write them in the comments, or send me an email. I of course will answer them, but I don't know when I will do a new Q&A video, because I think the last one I did was last year or something, or maybe even longer. So yes. So I do hope you like these videos. I am quite new to making these sort of personal videos or answering questions regarding my life. I usually only talk about piercings here, but it's nice to do a video in which I get to talk about myself and you get to know me a little bit better, and hopefully you did. So that's it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!